August 6th, 2019. Agent Florence at the ER at this point.
Yeah.
Particularly busy evening at the ER. And one of the nurses comes up and says, Doctor, some woman left an envelope for you in your office. And there's all kinds of hell breaking loose. There's people coming in, horrendous injuries, typical night.
Once I'm finished doing what I'm doing, I'm going to go look at that envelope.
The nurse walks away. And where would you be? She's in California, Cedars-Sinai.
Day is it? Like a weekday?
August 6th, 2019.
It's a weekday?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time of the day?
Evening.
It's probably either still at work or at his apartment. One or the other. So he'd be in, what do we say? Denver? Is that where the...
Denver.
Yeah, because it was where the FEMA... They have offices next to FEMA.
I think it was Denver, Colorado, yeah. And you're part of the...
CISA.
Yeah.
Under Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah. Cell phone rings.
Okay, I'll answer.
All right. Voice of a woman. Hello, is this Edward?
Speaking.
Hi, I just want to let you know that we found your stuff, even your wallet. Apparently, lady came in with it. She said she found it behind one of the trash cans. So feel free to come by anytime and grab them.
Okay, where's that?
Oh, sorry. That's we're at 23906 North Lincoln, just behind the Starbucks, St. Mary's, on the side with the soup kitchen.
Right, got it.
You go into your office. There's an envelope laying on the desk with your name on it, sealed, and eventually make your way to the soup kitchen, and there's your wallet, an envelope that's sealed with your name on it. Opening those, the envelopes, you see these. It looks to be on brochure paper.
I'll scribble down that number somewhere else. Like on a battery business card in my wallet or something.
Okay? And that's all that's inside that envelope.
Where is this? No, not Florida. That's tomorrow?
That is Friday the 9th, I think that says.
What day you say it is? No, the 8th?
It is the 6th.
Oh, the 6th. Okay, alright.
Okay. I put this in my purse in my locker.
Okay.
And go back to work.
Finish out your shift then. All right. So unless
Yeah.
there's anything, the evening passes. It's now the next day, the 7th.
I'll make arrangements to get a flight to Tampa, Florida, I guess.
All right. Doing the same. Okay.
Whatever's going to get me there, or, several hours early. So if
Okay.
it's a 10 a.m. seminar, doors open at 10 a.m., I'm trying to get there in the middle of the night or...
So you'll set it
crack
up
on.
to where you arrive like the same day as
Yeah.
the event happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to, take a red eye.
All right.
But
So in this case, we'll roll bureaucracy to see if we can get this taken care of as quickly as possible.
okay, so now
Equal or under.
equal or under, so I fail.
Okay.
I rolled 49 and I have 50.
Okay. All right. You have trouble finding space or room for that. The desk, whether you call or you're there, is like, I probably could make something work for you, but it's going to cost you probably around $200. You'll have to take first class. So would you like to do that?
Yes.
Very good. Go through the transaction of that. You get that set up for the tickets. You have no trouble finding a way on. You make your flights and arrive at the airport.
I guess I'll see if I could rent a car.
Okay. You're able to rent the car.
I am going to get a taxi.
Okay. So taxis are there. You make your way to this Tampa Bay
The
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn Express.
And you guys arrive there. And you actually see each other pulling up. You come a little bit earlier, and then a little bit after that, you see Agent Florence come out of the taxi.
Give her the nod.
Instantly, coming from Colorado and California, the heat is oppressive. The humidity causes the clothes to stick to your skin, and you smell jasmine and a lot of jasmine and stuff in Florida. And in front of you is the Tampa Bay Holiday Inn. The place is flooded with people going in and out of the entrance, and there's this huge sign floating above it. It says, "The Tampa Greenfield Holiday Inn welcomes the Burkett Torrance Real Estate Seminar." Everyone's in business wear.
So I am wearing linen pants and light blouse.
Okay. So that'll fit in, with
Well, I guess probably in a suit, like suit and tie that he would wear to work kind of thing. But as soon as I climb out of the car, I start taking the jacket off.
So
Tie.
you both blend in with everyone who's there.
I guess I'll walk up to Agent Florence and say, "Ready to unlock the secrets of real estate success?"
I hope it's enlightening.
At the front desk, the lobby, full of people with drinks, and they're chatting, a low sound of conversations, all the way into the bar. There's people coming in and out of the bar.
So what do you think? You think we probably need to talk to John, right? Since he's an agent like no other. Not sure how easy that'll be. Is there quite a few people? Is there like a sign-in desk or anything like for?
There's the front desk, and then there's a clipboard with a pen, and you do see Burkett Torrance Real Estate Seminar.
And is there like signage up on easels or anything indicating like what? Like I assume it's like rooms that they've.
Yeah, there's
conference rooms or
different
whatever.
Conference rooms that have kind of a whiteboard, and it goes at 12 o'clock is this, and at 1 o'clock we're going to talk about appraisal and things like that.
I'm just going to be on the lookout for anything corresponding to those numbers that are written on the flyer that I got. Just in general, just be kind of like, oh, is that,
Okay.
what could that possibly correspond to? Just running the numbers through his head.
All right. Yeah, there's a whiteboard with all of the scheduled seminars.
So I think I'm just gonna scout things out and look to see where the first seminar is.
Okay. You see that, what time did we arrive? We didn't really.
Well, it says doors open at 10.
At 10, and they've been, so we'll say 11:30 or so. There's the first, one of the first seminars is on housing appraisal, how to find out information on that and where to go. You do notice also that there's pictures of John Burkett Torrance on easels. People signed, "Best of luck." Here's some laughs and cheers from the bar area. But yeah, that's the first seminar is at, what did I say, 11:30? 11:30 on appraisal.
Okay, and what time is it now? Like
It's
10?
now it's 11.
11. Okay.
Is there a list of all the seminars or?
There is, and it's on being a better agent, improving your sales, the typical what you would think a real estate seminar to gain wealth and all that would be.
And does it indicate like who's giving the seminars or?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Right.
No.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? Just go with the flow.
As I walk around, do I see or recognize John Burke Torrance?
There's people moving in and out, and there's an ebb and flow. You're hearing, everyone's kind of in whispers in the lobby and outside. They're walking outside, inside, and in the bar, you're hearing more laughter and clanking of glasses and things like that. So,
I'm gonna walk towards the bar.
okay,
I'll follow.
all right. So you go in, and weirdly enough, for as bright as the inn is, they have it kind of set up like a dark, traditional dark wood kind of bar. Going inside, you're hearing cheers and noises and laughter from the back in a corner. You see the man from the brochure, surrounded by a bunch of people around a round table, talking, and they're laughing. There's balloons on the table.
I'm gonna go to the bar and order a tonic water and lime.
Tonic water and lime, and then pay for that. Get it.
Just kind of wander around, hands in pocket.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over to that table with my drink in my hand.
There's condensation on the glass. I think the humidity versus how cold everything is. It's dripping on the ground. Sometimes it hits your pant leg and you feel it soak in. And you head over and you're standing in front of this round table with Burkett Torrance there.
I'm trying to listen to what's going on while looking like I belong there.
All right. And then you're just walking around.
Yeah, I'll just like kind of be like 10 paces behind, just kind of.
Okay. You over here talks of, oh man, you've really been at this a while, getting to get long in the tooth. How does it feel to turn 55? And, I manage. You're just like your father. And there's laughing and joking. So, and a lot of cheers to one more trip around the sun. And then he makes eye contact with you and smiles.
I'll say, apparently, birthday wishes are in order.
Oh, well, thank you. Are you here for the seminar?
Yes.
Well, yeah, there should be some starting fairly soon. And they're like, yeah, I think there is. So you see them conversing together.
No. I'll just kind of be pretending to do something on my phone, but really just switching from menu to menu and just kind of looking up like I'm thinking back down.
You hear one of them, what are you going to do after this bill? And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll take up some fly fishing or maybe move, get out of the heat.
Yeah, is it always like this?
It's Florida. You're not from around here?
No.
Out of town?
Shock to the system.
Yeah, there's a few people who are out of town. So,
Yeah, didn't want to miss this.
yeah. Where'd you hear from us?
Saw a flyer. I've been researching I don't know what you call it, an industry, a field.
Huh. And are you two together or?
Oh, we just met on the way in.
Yeah. Well, where are you from?
California, but I like to think that I'm from all over.
Travel a lot?
Yes.
My father traveled a lot. Where do you go when you're not traveling a lot?
My home base is Southern California.
Home base, huh? It's a weird way of putting it. How about you? Do you have a home base?
No, just a home. Apartment, really. But no, I'm from Colorado.
Colorado. Wow. I didn't think that our advertising reached that far. People can fly in, I guess. But, puts his hand out. Bill Burkett Torres. People call me William, but Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I guess I'll see you two later. And he stands up, and there's like a box that's like a bow on it. And he puts it under his arm. Have you heard of my father, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. He passed away about a month ago. But so you're in the real estate field then? Agents?
Well, yeah. I mean, dipping a toe in.
Well, if you would all excuse me, let me share with you my father's legacy. And he motions for you to follow, and he walks with his flat screen TV. Makes his way through the crowds. They kind of part for him, pats on the shoulder. Happy retirement, Bill. Your father would be proud. I know, and you walk down this hallway, and there's all the conference rooms. And eventually you reach the Pine Room, and he opens the door and motions for you to follow him in.
Put my jacket back on, probably cool down a bit.
Yeah. You follow him in.
Follow him in.
He comes in. The room looks very sterile. There's a long rectangular table with 8 seats. There's 3 on the sides, 1 on each end. And he comes in and seats himself at the chair closest to the door.
We'll come in, not sit directly next to him, maybe one chair down. Turn it sideways and sit down.
I'll sit on the other side of the table, sort of in between.
He looks back. Did we lock the door? Yeah, I think we locked the door. You can call me John. And he opens up the box and he pulls out a laptop. And he opens it up, turns it on. Just be a moment. He starts tapping. He says a friendly called in a possible unnatural incident after seeing a restricted symbol on a door of a home here in Tampa. Owners are a Mr. and Mrs. Bernier. Here is a paper clipping. Bernier. And this is actually a blow-up of the symbol from another newspaper. Also, I'll try to be as brief as I can here. I'm sorry for how short these are, but I didn't have much time to act on this. These are short dossiers of the family. I believe that the symbol is serious enough to warrant investigation. You're to ID the origin of the mark and remove all vectors that may reproduce it. So you can see how strange this situation is, why this family, of all families, would have this on the door. And he's checking his watch, checking his phone.
Do I recognize the mark at all?
Not, you would have to dig a little bit.
It's not off the top of my head.
Yeah, not off the top of your head, no.
Let's see. What's the mark?
That's what we brought you in for. It's kind of a hot and changing situation. The police have already come in. The family are eager to cooperate with authorities. They believe it's some kind of harassment. As you can see, they're a biracial family. If it were me, still on the ground, I'd go with the federal hate crimes angle, but you do whatever you feel is best. Now, the number on the brochure you'll be able to contact me, but it's good for 2 uses. After that, I'm disconnecting the line. I'd prefer if you would only call, telling me that the situation is under control and the objective's complete. And he looks at his phone. Please excuse me. And he stands up with the box under his arm and he walks out. I got to take this. And he opens the door and he leaves you and closes the door.
So you took the laptop and the box?
He just took the box.
Get out my phone and try and do like a Google image search, reverse image search or something on the symbol.
Okay. Let's see. So far...
And I'm probably like rubbernecking the screen if he left it open.
Yeah, he
At
left
the
it
same
open.
time. I'm just looking at the screen and doing that thing.
It has the information that he gave you. He was reading it off of,
Whatever.
a mission, a
Yeah.
document. He left it open. You're assuming that he's left you this laptop.
Oh,
You don't feel that he's going to be coming back in.
okay, yeah.
It's been now probably 10 minutes
Okay.
since you've been going over these
I'll-
things.
Yeah, I'll sit down and take a look at it.
Okay. So you're going in to search through your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're looking for any kind of mention of it or anything like that?
Yeah, just trying to see what it would be called. Any sort of hit thing down.
All right.
Since he didn't tell us what it's called, all I have is the image.
Okay. So that'll take a history test.
History was not my strong suit. So I'm not okay.
Okay. It's funny because the symbol comes up as the news articles
Right.
of the hate crime that
Right.
was committed against his family. So far, that's what you're digging up.
I'm gonna look at the computer and see if I can figure out why they think that this symbol is an apparent hate crime.
Why, the newspapers?
Why the newspapers are saying it's an apparent hate crime.
Okay.
If there's
Hey,
any further information.
are you still looking on your phone, trying to
Sure.
dig different angles and things like
Yeah.
that? Okay, so how are you approaching this search then?
So since I assume sort of mundane media sources think this symbol is for some reason a hate crime,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start looking through like other sort of symbology of like other incidents, of hate crime or neo-Nazi groups or anything like that might, and probably try and cross-reference that maybe with mythology.
Okay.
It's like there's a lot of that stuff derived from mythology. So
Okay. What's your occult at?
my occult is 10.
Okay. Moving past the surface level of whether it's neo-Nazi hate crime stuff and you're kind of digging like the mythology, you will need to attempt an occult roll.
Oh,
You spend time searching about why they believe it's a hate crime. And what you're coming up with is just the fact that it's in Florida, it's 2019, and this is a biracial family. I think the news article did report that there had been a fire that had been started and that they had been harassed, talking about this thing carved in the door and other marks around the house. So really you're seeing that they're probably taking that stance because it's the surface level, highest, quickest thing is to go, oh, this was some kind of weird symbol to freak out this biracial family. And what was your role that you got?
I failed.
Failed?
Yeah.
Okay. Digging into it, there's a lot of history of different symbols. There's stuff that came close, not quite.
Right.
It would take more time or other professionals or something like that, you figure, in order to even figure out how to navigate the internet to find this symbol. I mean, there are, websites that talk about different deities that are worshipped, but none of those symbols matched.
Looking at the other articles about it, is there any pictures or indications of the other marks that were found on the house?
No, they only talk about, they just call it vandalism or graffiti around the house, and then they just have that picture of that symbol on the door. Both articles, or the articles that you find, they still talk about the symbol, the fire being started, but they don't go into detail about any of the other stuff.
I think that we should go out to the neighborhood. It says that it is an upscale neighborhood. I'd like to sort of see what the house looks like, if anyone has, surveillance cameras outside their house. Just kind of see where we might get some more information.
Cops have probably looked into that, but it's still worth a try. Before we do that, though, I want to look through this laptop a little more and just see what files are on it.
Okay, you were on the laptop too, right? Is
Yes.
that where you were looking?
I think that we should take it with us.
Well, yeah, but
Going through that, I mean, you both have noticed that it is completely clean except for the thing you're assuming he read to you and the news article. There's a video clip of the newscast from Tampa, but it relays the same information in that they believe it's a hate crime. There are no passwords anywhere. It looks completely clean.
okay.
That's the only thing that's on it.
All right.
It's just that.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll grab it and take it with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where else to start. Obviously, we can look into their backgrounds and stuff too. But yeah, I may as well start with the physical stuff. Go to the house.
That's where you're heading then, is to the house. Right now it's about 1 p.m. having gone through this stuff. Now, in the dossier, is there an address
Yes.
to the house? Okay.
Yeah, it's James Avenue.
3591 North Ridge
Oh no, that's his
Avenue.
work. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And it says the wife is a stay-at-home mom, but just kind of want to
Okay.
do a drive-by, see what the neighborhood is like, if there's people walking around, look to see, if we can tell what the racial makeup of the area is.
Okay. All right. You're leaving the conference room now and going out. Okay. And you had rented a car, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So going out of the Pine Room, there's like no one there. So there are seminars going on, doors are closed, no sign of John Burgatoritz. And so you head outside and you are taking your car then to...
Sure.
All right. You drive. Again, the heat is wet and oppressive. You go through areas of swamp and vegetation. Eventually, you do make it to this neighborhood, and it is very upscale. The roads are clean. There's not too many potholes. A lot of the homes have a fence or wall around them. And you pull up in front of the address that you have, that it is recessed back from this big white wall. It's been painted white brick with a gate. You see that the driveway goes up through this lush lawn to a garage that's on the side. The house is painted pink with gray shingles with flowers in the front, and there are like fig and apple fruit trees along the side and back towards the property. It's a large property. And then You also see the door is gray. And if you look, you can still see the symbol carved in it. Though now it doesn't look dark like, whatever was.
Painted over.
Yeah, it looks like it's either been painted over or cleaned.
Oh.
Because you just can see the shape, but there's no. From the photo, it looked like there was something in the carving that made it darker, but that's gone.
Does it look like, this guy's like a pretty technical guy. Like I'm kind of shocked he doesn't have security cameras of his own that would have caught this. So I'll start looking at that. Just park the car, I guess, and look to see if I can see, like, if he's got a Ring camera or any cameras anywhere, and then adjacent houses across the street, whatever. Start looking around.
Okay.
I am gonna get out, and I put my hair in a ponytail, and I'm just gonna walk like I am taking a walk in the neighborhood.
All right. So looking at the door from the distance you're at the fence, gate's closed, you see that it is just a regular, there's no ring on it. There are floodlights, but it doesn't look like he has any kind of ring.
Security.
And this is 2019. Was ring was big by then,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So really,
Maybe it's just the. Well, you're not there. Anyway.
So I am just walking probably like 100 yards down the street, looking to see if I see any other people out, like in their yard or.
there's people on the other side of the street and they're walking their dogs. They give you a wave. And then see that you don't wave and they kind of put their head down and keep walking. As you're walking, you do see more of those fences that are half stone and then they have like the wrought iron. And there's a little kid with his hands on the bars and he's just looking at you as you're walking by. And he's got kind of a little bowl job hairdo and he's just looking at you as you're walking by.
I'm gonna say, boy, it sure is hot out, isn't it?
And he nods his head. Mm-hmm. It's hot. It's always hot here, though. And then he turns and then just kind of skips off into the yard, running through a sprinkler. So far, the people you've seen, mostly Caucasian. So there are some African American families that are out, but the majority has been Caucasian.
I'm gonna cross the street and head back the direction of the car on the other side of the street.
All right.
I'm gonna bring up my phone and turn on the Wi-Fi and see what shows up.
Okay. Turning on the Wi-Fi, you give it permission to find your location. Are you trying to find like the address and the location, or?
You know how you'll see people's router names and things.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, like
Yeah.
if it's like Bernie A1 or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Things like that.
You don't see his name.
Okay.
I mean, you do see router numbers.
Right.
Whether
Nothing
he's
that
still
seems
using.
Seems obvious or anything.
No, but he's the microelectronics guy, so
Right.
you
Might
know.
not have a router, like a Wi-Fi router.
Well, you see that there are,
Yeah.
but it's not like Bernier
Nothing
family.
obvious. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you've made it back to the car at this
Here
point.
it is.
You're still in front of the gate, or at the fence, or in the car. Or
I
what?
was in the car.
Okay, in the
yeah,
car.
I was just looking from the car. Yeah.
Okay.
So you getting back in the car?
I'm gonna walk a little farther down the.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get out since you're walking back, so I'll get out.
Okay. walking down. The road gently has these, it's not flat. Some of the yards are hilly, gently hilly. It looks beautiful. There's flowers everywhere. You smell the flowers, the tree. There is a light breeze, but it's warm. It still feels like it's 100 degrees because of the humidity.
Are there any houses for sale?
You don't see any that are for sale. At least so far, you haven't seen any signs or anything. You hear dogs barking, here and there.
Catch up with you and say, kind of weird that there's no cameras, but given this neighborhood, they might think that, no problems, so they don't need them.
I mean, were you looking for cameras while you were?
I was looking for cameras. I was just kind of trying to surveil, but look like I was just taking a walk.
Okay. Were you looking for cameras and stuff with the routing?
So two things. As we pass the house, I want to see if I can notice any of the damage that was supposedly on the sides of the house without being, just kind of glancing, just kind of head on a swivel kind of thing. And also looking for, any cameras and stuff.
All right. Both of you roll an alertness with a +20 bonus. So that +20 goes onto your skill level, not the die roll. So it makes it easier.
I still don't get it.
Me neither.
Okay. If these people do have cameras, because they don't want it to be an eyesore, it's probably could be hidden or they don't have. At this point, you do notice a woman come out of the Bernier home and watering some of the plants around the steps. This woman it looks like the woman who is Evelyn. Sunglasses on, some shorts.
Is it noon, 12:30?
At this point now, it's about 1:30. It took a half hour to get there.
Okay. Kids are probably still at school. She's stay-at-home mom. Yeah, we kind of, weird there's no cameras. Also kind of weird that if this was scratched in the door, that they didn't hear it. Or actually scratched on the door and maybe on the walls.
And as you were looking on the side of the house when you were walking back, if you looked, you could see stains, it looked like, but they were like streaks. 3 streaks that looked like had been tried to power wash off.
Okay.
Almost like you could see that as the light hit it a certain way, that it had damaged the paint. Smooth and there's like rough.
Mismatch.
Yeah.
I think there's scratches on the side of the house too. Leave them.
Okay. I think I've seen enough.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to see. I sort of idly point at a couple things. I just point off in the distance in case anyone's looking, point over there, and we just. Let's go back to party.
Okay. You make it back to the car.
All right. Yeah.
She's still working in the yard. Stands up and stretches her back a little bit and looks around. She has like towels. She wipes her forehead, wipes her hands, turns around and heads back inside the house.
Do I think she looked not paranoid but vigilant?
She had finished with doing whatever she was doing and looked this way down the road, that way, glanced across the street at your car, but not staring, turned around and went back inside.
Looked unconcerned. Okay. All right, well, we shouldn't mind her.
So we get back in the car?
Yeah, we better. I don't know. I think we should maybe just try to look into their backgrounds a little bit. I'm not really sure what else to pursue at this stage. Just to kind of get more. I don't know. I'd like to know how they met. Been together for 7 years, and we don't know anything about his previous marriage. He's been in this area for 7 years, and they've been married for 7 years. I'm kind of curious how they met. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. Should we go get a room at a?
Probably someplace where we can hunker down for the afternoon. I'd like to go back at night just to. Who knows? See how things look. So I'll just start driving and just go. Yeah, just see if we can look up if there's a hotel or motel nearby maybe.
Okay. There are cheaper alternatives to the Holiday Inn.
A Super 8. Or,
Yeah, like a Super 8 that is closer than the Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn's a half hour away. So yeah, you can find something.
Closer by.
Yeah, it looks a little run down, a little dated, but so backs up to kind of a swampy area.
Yeah.